It's 14 minutes past 6 and China's birth rate has been declining for some years. However, figures released this morning have shown its overall population got smaller last year for the first time in decades. BBC correspondent Katie Silver joins us from Singapore. What are the figures, first of all, Katie?
Well, you wouldn't think a population of 1.4 billion would be worried about not having enough people, but by the end of 2022, there was 850,000 fewer people in China than had been 12 months earlier. And the reason this is so problematic is population experts say this is ushering in a period of decline of the country's citizens' numbers. The other important figures that were there was the highest death rate occurred since 1976, and now, of course, with the abolition of the zero COVID policy, that's only likely to get worse, as well as the fact that the birth rate was the lowest on record.
It has been trying to boost the birth rate, hasn't it, for quite a few years? Obviously, there was the end to the one-child policy. Why haven't those measures had the desired effect?
Well, the problem here is it's almost like once the train is out of the station, it's very hard to stop it. So, of course, back in 2015, after 35 years, we saw them abolish the one-child policy, and at that time they allowed for families to have 2 children. Back in 2021, they allowed 3 children, and now there are no limits at all. However, basically, once, as I say, there's structural problems at play that are making this the case. You know, for example, many Chinese people felt the need to invest heavily in their one child. We saw, for example, tuition companies boom and the cost of having children increase significantly. And now, with that being the demographic norm, that being what people expect, it's very, very hard for them to turn this around. We've seen, for example, recently local governments trying to combat this, rolling out such measures as, you know, including tax deductions, longer maternity leaves and housing subsidies. But as you say, they're having very little impact. And the problem here is, what's this going to mean in terms of funding this growing elderly population?
Katie Silver, thank you.
6:15.